I'd like to do an example of synthetic division. The process is written in your textbook, and I hope you've already watched the instructional video on getting started with synthetic division. I wanted to synthetically divide 2x squared minus 4x plus 5 by x minus 3. And the reason I want to do that is in our last video we actually did it using long division. And I want to compare the two processes. Synthetic division only helps me divide things when I'm dividing by something in the format x minus c. Well, that's perfect. I'm dividing by x minus 3, and I see that c is equal to 3. The process starts by writing the value of c in what I like to call the box. Then I write out the coefficients of the numerator, 2, minus 4, 5, using placeholders if I need to. Every power of x needs to be represented. So when I write out this, I like to start with a degree and count down and make sure I have enough spots, because I should always end in 0. So here, second degree, first degree, 0. So 2, 1, 0, right? This was x squared, x to the first, x to the 0. And I have all of the things, and I didn't need any placeholders. So I just always like to start by checking for that. The process for synthetic division is this. After I have that, I write the first number down. And then I multiply. 3 times 2 is 6. And I write that number here. And now I add and then repeat that process. Minus 4 plus 6 is 2. 3 times 2 is 6. 5 and 6 make 11. In synthetic division, the last thing I see is the remainder. These tell me the coefficients for my quotient. My quotient always has a degree 1 less than the degree I started with. I'm dividing a quadratic by a linear, so the quotient has to be degree 1. So this is a 2x plus 2 as my quotient. And then the remainder, which has to be a constant because I'm dividing by a linear term, is 11. This is exactly what I got before. But even better than that, right? I see 2 minus 4, 5, and those are my coefficients. And I see minus 4 plus 6. Minus 4 plus 6 gives me that 2, right? I see these things, 5 and 6, that gives me this 11. So I see all the things that happened in the long division over here. Synthetic division is a wonderful shortcut. The important thing to remember, I only get to use synthetic division if I'm dividing by something in the format of x minus c. So I either need to see something like an x minus 3, where c is equal to 3, or I could imagine an x plus 3, where c would be equal to minus 3, because x minus a minus 3 would appear as a plus. And so I thought we'd do one more example in this video of synthetic division, but I wanted to remind you that if we don't have a linear thing on the bottom, if we're not dividing by a linear term, we'll have to use long division. And even if this was more interesting, or if I had a coefficient in front of the x, I'd have to use long division. But here's our one more example. I want to divide x to the 7th plus x to the 5th minus 10x cubed plus 12 by x plus 2. Minus 2 goes in the box because this is really x minus a minus 2. And now I need to write the coefficients. The x to the 7th term has a coefficient of 1. There is no x to the 6th term, and this is where I need a placeholder. X to the 5th has a coefficient of 1. X to the 4th should be next, but it's missing, so I need a placeholder. Minus 10. And then that 12, but I should see an x squared and an x to the 1st, so I need 2 placeholders and then the 12. So now I'm going to run through and do the synthetic division. I bring down my 1 times minus 2, add those together. Minus 2 times minus 2 is positive 4. Minus 2 times 5 is minus 10. Minus 2 times minus 10 is positive 20. Minus 2 times positive 10 is minus 20. Minus 2 times minus 20 is positive 40. And again, I'm adding these together. Minus 2 times minus 40 is minus 80. And now I just need to add those up, and let's see, what's that going to be? Minus 80 plus 12, 68, but minus. All right, So now I need to write down my quotient and my remainder. Well, my remainder I know is minus 68. So now let's write down the quotient. And I need to remember these are the coefficients, but this always starts with 1 degree less than this one. So this is 1x to the 6th minus 2x to the 5th plus 5x to the 4th minus 10x cubed. I'm running out of room, so I'm going to kind of sneak things in down here, plus 10x squared minus 20x plus 40. And there's my quotient and my remainder through synthetic division. If you were to do this through long division, you get the same answer, but it would be a much longer process. Again, synthetic division gives me a very nice way of doing this division very quickly.